Hey folks, welcome to Mythborn Live, episode 31. And we are going to talk today about some really interesting things. Normally I have a lot of research I have to do, but this time it's something that I'm more curious about, and I wonder what you guys think. It's definitely woven into the writing of my books, but I wanted to see what you guys has anyone had any experience with something like this? First, some housekeeping. I really want to thank all the people who came out to Barnes and Noble this Saturday. It was amazing. It was awesome to just meet all of you, to get a chance to shake hands, to autograph books, and talk about Mythborn and geeking out with various sci-fi people. I met a top writer from Quora, which was amazing. Of course, the guy knew a little bit about everything, which was great when it comes to talking to writers, and I just had a fun time. It was a very great opportunity to just meet everybody, and I felt like I was giving back a little bit for all the help and amazingness that you guys have given to me. So thank you for showing up. I enjoyed it. I want to do more of these, and I look forward to meeting you guys next time I have one of these events. The other thing I was going to say was we all heard about Stan Lee's passing. I feel sad, and I want to just offer the condolences to his family and the community. Just for what amazing stories, characters, worlds, imagination he brought us. I think I grew up on comics. Obviously, I definitely grew up on Stan Lee's characters, and if he has been an inspiration, I think, to anyone who is in the sci-fi fantasy realm, and I think he will just be missed as a creative genius in this area. So on to today's topic. So if you saw the title, it's like Mysteries in Dreams. So here's the craziest thing that I've had happen, and I wonder exactly if there's a saying, or if I have a theory behind it. But lately, or not lately, I should say, over the last few years, I have an apartment. Actually, I have two apartments that I know like the back of my hand, that I know every room of, that I know actually it's actually even more than that. It's two apartments, and then one leads into a house, and the other one leads into a cul-de-sac that is an entire inner lake facing almost like a carved out canyon. So I know these like the back of my hand. When I show up at them again, I know where everything is every single time. But here's the strange thing. I've never lived in them. I've only seen them in my dreams. When I have had so pause for a second and think of that. These places are places that I have visited many times in different dreams. They're always the same place. They always look the same as I left them the last time. And I know where everything is because it's in the same place I left it last time. And what's so interesting about it is when I'm there, it feels like home. Like it feels like I know this place. I've been here. It's almost like I have lived there, just not here, not in this life, or maybe not in this reality. So what's so interesting is in each of these places, I end up there typically at during a dream where I need to recover something or get something, or in some cases I'm moving from one place to another, and I know that I have storage space there, so I'll take things and store them there, and then the next time, and it can be a year later, I'll go in and I'll remember exactly what I stored there, where it is. I'll be able to take it out. Stuff in the refrigerator that I left from a year ago, it's gone bad. I have to throw it away and remember to restock the refrigerator. It's like time is passing at a normal rate in these places, but these places aren't real. They are no place I have ever visited, ever. They don't even look like places I've lived. One is a small, 2-bedroom apartment. One is an apartment that's at the very top of almost like a steeple or a church. One is a ginormous home with a huge glass window overlooking an open ocean. And then I said the last one is a home that leads out to a cul-de-sac, kind of, not a cul-de-sac, that's too small, a ginormous canyon inside of a mesa, and that canyon has a lake inside of it. And here's the weird thing. Like I said, every time I visit one of these places, it's not weird and like there aren't superheroes there. The walls aren't, weird. I don't talk to animals. There's nothing odd about them. They are exactly where I was. And in fact, what's even weirder is when I arrive at one of these apartments, I suddenly remember all these things I have to do. Like, I'm pretty sure one of these places is somewhere in the Northwest. And I remember all these things that I have to like deliver or take care of before I leave. And I typically will take care of those things. And then there's another one, like I said, in this mesa that I can only imagine is somewhere near the Grand Canyon or maybe near somewhere in that area. I don't know. Could be Texas. But I have like these things I have to take care of there. And, and they involve either leaving letters for friends or resupplying or, just fixing something that was broken last time. The ginormous house, it's typically, just to make sure that it ends up being like cleaning up, somewhere in the yard, or it ends up moving certain things around that I know will get in the way of the work we would need to do. And again, when I go to each of these places, my agenda of what to do in each of these places is completely different, but it's always consistent and right in line with the last time I was there. And it doesn't matter if I was there a week ago or 3 years ago or whatever. However long it's been since I dreamed of it last or dreamt of it last, that much time has passed in that house. So if I dream of a place that I dreamt about last night, when I go in, it'll all be the same, and the food will be normal, and everything will be the way it was. But if I don't dream about it again for another year or two, and I go in, the refrigerator food will be rotten. The place will have certain repairs that need to get done. They might need, me to collect all the mail that's been coming in. It's a very contiguously, internally consistent dream, but it is a dream. And when I leave the dream and I come out and I wake up, I do, for the first like 5 or 10 minutes of being awake, I think that maybe I do have a place like that. Like, I almost think it's a real place and I have to just remember to do certain things. But then slowly that fades away, and I realize I just dreamt that whole thing. It wasn't a place that's real. It's not a place that exists. It's just a place in your head. And what I think is really cool about it is, if it were just a weird place that you show up at, then no big deal, But every time has passed correctly in these places, and they almost feel like residences, or maybe safe houses, or something that's just there for my dream self to be able to relax in. There's one more place I didn't mention, one that actually I do, I'm going to write about inside of Mythborn, but sometimes I appear at this place where it's tunnels. And when I go through the tunnels, it's not scary. I go through these tunnels and I end up in an archway. And in that archway, I can see 1,000 archways in a circumference that lead up and down. And in each archway is an elephant done in the style of Indian architecture. I don't, and by the way, this same place, it's always a little different. Sometimes if I make a mark on a wall, it'll be there when I come back. If I don't, nothing will be there. If I erase a mark, I'll see the erase marks next time. it's a cool kind of thing because it's clearly there's something tied to somewhere and it's being triggered and it has an opportunity for maybe it's a place of need for respite. I don't know, but they're never scary. They're not haunted. I'm not being chased. If anything, they're very comforting. But I will say what is disconcerting when I'm there, when I'm in this dream house or this dream place, I find my whole agenda of what is happening in my life at the time to be replaced with the person who is visiting that house, me as that person in that house, in that reality. In that house, in that reality, I might be applying, for a job, or I might be looking for an academic appointmentship, or I might be, I don't know, an entrepreneur doing something. And it doesn't matter. It's always consistent to that particular residence. And whatever I was doing last in a normal person's life to get to that point, or to get that point moving forward, is what's on my agenda to get done. So when I'm in that ginormous house, I'm typically an entrepreneur trying to get something done. The attic, like, one bedroom is, typically I'm in school, and then for the two bedroom, I'm often I'm in the process of moving and I'm trying to just store stuff there, or pull stuff out of there. But what's weird is it's so internally consistent that I literally wake up and for a few minutes, it's this other person's life that I think is my life. And it's not for a few minutes that fades away and I realize that's not what's going on. What's going on is the stuff going on here. And I wonder if those are just maybe quantum realities that are one step apart from us, maybe, where there's all these different threads of what VJ could be doing. That, if you follow the many worlds theory, which says that anything that can happen does happen and reality splits in those situations. Am I just one step away from what another VJ is doing in another reality that's one step removed from this one? And when I take on that, am I part of his dream? And are there times when maybe they come into this life and they have, one of them has this dream and I wonder why he's living in a home with kids and, a dog. And I mean, not he, but then they wake up and they realize, oh, they don't have a kid and dogs, or they do. What's really interesting is all these different realities seem to coincide in terms of time of year. So when I'm there, it's always the same time of year. It's all consistent. And so what I wonder to some extent when I'm writing is, I wonder how many different quantum realities can be expressed within a given novel or within a given effort. And one of the things I'm really starting to investigate now and really starting to learn about now is, I did some research, and one of the things that was interesting about our brains is that at the tiniest level of cellular or even subatomic interaction of various particles within our brain, there are smaller and smaller and smaller pathways for these neurons to follow. And at some point, they say there may even be tubules or whatever that are as small as something on the quantum level. And so I think that at some level, what's amazing is, could there be an amazing opportunity to figure out if our brains are somehow more connected to this space that some people call spirituality, some people call God, some people call afterlife, some people, whatever the term is. There seems to be a long traditional mythology and a practice in every ancient religion that we are more than this one life that we live. And sometimes I feel like when I'm dreaming this dream of another dream, that I am touching strangely upon another Vijay's life and what he's doing, and another Vijay's life and what he's doing. And like I said, it's very consistent. It's not scary. They're always doing something that's consistent with what they need to do. For some reason, when I'm in that dream, I take on that level of whatever their agenda might be. But what's even more interesting is that wherever I left it last and I come back, time has passed and things that have changed, but they've changed consistent to the time that's passed. The marks that I make in one of these houses that I only know in dreams, they stay consistent. But sometimes they're wiped away or removed, like as if someone else wiped away or removed them. In fact, the last time I visited the house that I know is somewhere in the transitional period for that particular VJ and what's going on in his life, he had packed a ton of things had been packed up, ready to move. And this time when I went, there was hardly anything left. It was all moved out, but the apartment was still empty and able to be used to store stuff. And I sort of knew that like it would be empty, like things would be moved out and there would just be some stuff left that you would leave behind if you had moved out and you didn't want the stuff. It's just a very interesting thing because every now and then I feel like I'm glimpsing a parallel track of something going on. And I think, as a writer, I find it to be a really great fertile place for me to find more information to write about. So anyways, if anyone knows anything about this, if anyone's interested in this and they have some background in hearing about this kind of stuff, I'd love to hear from you. Make sure you pull a comment or anything else down. I'm happy to follow up. I'm going to do my own research on this also. One of the things that I really enjoyed about writing is that all these different kinds of aspects of creativity can be expressed in your writing. And for those writers out there who are starting out, they're not sure where to begin. I think we talked about it last time on tips in writing, but this feeds into it. There are always things deep within you that are just yours and yours alone. Maybe other people have experienced them and they'll say, yes, I feel the same way sometimes, but it doesn't matter. The point is there are things that you remember that that are yours inside your heart. It's always great to start from there when you're writing, because I think when you start from something that you intrinsically feel, putting it into words and getting it out, onto paper is one way of understanding it better. But also, it's a great way to practice your writing because you need to bring voice to something that so far may only be thoughts, feelings, things in your head, and not necessarily something you've ever put to paper yet. So, anytime you write, anytime, like anything else you do in life, it's practice. Practice is what makes you better at something. And what you want to do is get past the mechanics of writing where you worry about word choice and verb tense and nouns and grammar. You want to get past the mechanics of writing, and you want to get to a point where you're able to think about concepts and ideas and feelings and emotion. Your mind is able to, because of practice, able to just write using the muscle that you've trained to write. So writing every day is a really important discipline. I write 1,500 words every day, just as a mark, and sometimes it's a little more. Sometimes it's never less because I don't let myself get up until I've finished the 1,500 words. Sometimes it has nothing to do with Mythborn. It's just me writing because I know that the writing itself is what's important. It's not necessarily what I'm writing about. It's keeping that mental muscle working on writing. So I urge you, aspiring writers out there, use that heart that you have inside of you and then apply it with practice and diligence. Have the discipline and make yourself write every day, even if you just write single sentences. Eventually, believe me, your brain and you will get so good that you won't be able to do that kind of stuff. You'll be writing paragraphs. You'll be writing whatever you want. And then if you dip into what's in your heart, you will start, writing something better and bigger, and hopefully do your own novel. And I think that'll be a great accomplishment for for anyone out there. So I urge you guys, try it. Never know, right? I want to thank everyone for this episode of Mythborn Live, episode 31. We talked about mysteries and dreams. I will be letting you guys know the next event I will be at. I want to thank everyone for showing up at the Barnes & Noble this Saturday. It was great. I had a great time just meeting everybody, and we went through a ton of books, so that was awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing all of you again in the near future. and looking forward to talking to you guys on Thursday for episode 32. We'll figure out what we're going to talk about before then, I'm sure. Take care. And I want to thank everyone. See y'all.